Hey, what is going on, guys? This is the SS Ultimate Goku back with another video to do my Attack on Titan English dub episode 82 review. Today we're going to talk about um, the episode that just came out yesterday on Toonami. Um, this episode kind of starts off. You see the Titans. They're walking into battle. Um, and there's a bunch of people like debating on Aaron's justification for doing this. Some are like, well, lives are going to be cost because of everything that happened, what they tried to do to us. They're going to try to kill us off. So this is what has to happen. And then other people are like, no, no, this is bad. Like there's just like chaos going on with people. And then Hitchens, she comes in the fray in the room, and she basically, um, she's following the rumblings because she realizes that Annie's not in her like cocoon ice thing anymore. Um, and so she goes into this room where she follows the tracks of where Annie has been because of her wet prints. And she goes in the door, and then Annie captures her, um, at least for a second. Um, and she basically tries to capture her, and basically says, "Don't make a sound and whatnot, and give me your clothes or whatever." I guess because she wanted to disguise herself as her. And that doesn't work. That fails because she's too weakened. Um, she's too weakened. So, uh, Hitchens easily overpowers her, and they have a discussion, and then you hear the knock knocks going on where the guy, there's a guy that wants to come in, to check on her. So they cut off on that. And then we see Annie and Hitchens like talking in a farm, off farm where the horses are. So she basically saves her from. She basically saves her from being uh, captured. She's part of the police force, remember? So Annie had threatened to go Titan if she didn't comply, but again, she didn't believe it. But obviously, they still ended up making up anyways. Because, well, you see what happened. And that was where they played the theme song too, and then they got to the farm where the horses are, where they got a horse. So they then talk about when they're at the farm, they basically talk about how Annie heard everything while she was frozen, basically, and she knew what Hitchens had said as well as Armin, and yeah, so they knew exactly what well, she knew exactly what was going on, and so she had heard then when she got freed from the ice that she had heard what Aaron was planning, and so she was upset about that because she didn't normally really care, but now she did because now her adopted father was involved, and when they're on the horse, she kind of explains this more. We get to finally hear more about Annie, and she basically says that she wishes to reunite with her adopted father of Marley. Uh, Annie had basically said that she was a product of a cross marriage between a Marley and an Eldian, um, and they abandoned her. Which is kind of interesting because in the last season we had heard that kid got killed for being once the Marley found out that he married an Eldian. So I guess Annie kind of got off free on that since she's like half. Um, but because this just seems how this society does this. Luckily, that didn't happen here. But Annie, then Annie grows up with this adopted father who wanted the benefits of her of being a warrior. So he wouldn't get treated like crap, because if you're a parent of a warrior candidate, you basically get a little more privileges. And you get a little better status. So that's what the benefit of her was. But she basically overpowered him eventually once she got stronger, and basically gave him a limp. But then eventually he ended up caring for her, and wanting her to come back. So they ended up having a bond. It was kind of an interesting thing because we were led to believe that Annie had some type of parent that like always seemed to have cared about her, at least from what the little glimpses of what we've seen. But that seems to be the case here with Annie. And that was, them talking about it, and they see they seen stuff in the background, and again, this is where they got the origins. And then after that, she look at the Titans and whatnot, and then after that, we see that adopted father confronting the guards about the visions that they seen, about how they are basically going to get killed, being on the mainland island. But the Marley soldiers don't want to believe this, and so it seems like they try to take like an attack at the soldiers when they had guns. So there might not be them anymore before Annie even gets there. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see where that goes. Then we see some of the remaining soldiers from the island that are in the cadets that aren't part of the Air Knights, and they're trying to help out the former commander, and he's like, no, you guys gotta save yourselves, and try to get stronger within, and rebel when the time is right. Don't save me. And whatnot. So then we get Mikasa and Armin talking about basically Armin wants to talk about trying to prevent Connie from taking out or preventing Connie from having him have them eat Falco, his mother eat Falco. That's what they're trying to prevent, or that's what Armin did, because he said, if Gabi wants to ever give us trust, then this is the only way we can do this. But then Mikasa then talks about what about Eren, and Armin just basically yells like that there's no saving him, and like this is basically it, Also, Mikasa's scarf is missing, by the way. Armin also mentions that he concedes that Levi did make a mistake. He should have saved Armin and not me. As he slams the door shut. Meanwhile, we see from 10 months ago. Sasha's boyfriend, and we see Gabi and all the relatives. They're kind of like, talking. Gabi reveals to her friend that she is actually Gabi and not her fake name that she was, and they hug. And whatnot. And so that's kind of where they're standing, because obviously she's going to try to basically, I guess, stop Falco from dying. So there's that. Then we get the part with the Aaronites, and this is where we see an image of one of the civilians getting shot. Or actually not really a civilian, they're one of the people from Zeke. Get shot in the arm, and basically refused to commit to the Aaronites, because that was the proposal, is if you're loyal to the Aaronites, then you could be freed. He refused to do that, and so he died. Basically, he got shot in the head, and that was it. Then we see Jean being talked by the Aaronites, and he talks about how he'd been talking to Aaron about the plan and whatnot, and everything that he was gonna do. And Jean is just like all mesmerized by this, because he's like, you won't have to do anything anymore. You can just do your normal type job. And it's just not something I think Mikasa is fully convinced of. Mikasa is like talking to him about everything, and as he's talking to him, about giving up fighting and being a hero of parody, and Mikasa tries. Fled tries to convince Mikasa and Jean about stop fighting, but mainly Jean. But I don't know if Mikasa, they didn't really kind of get into Mikasa's vague on it, but it seems like Mikasa's really not buying it. They also had the commercial after that. And then, or not commercial, I'm sorry. Then they had the ending credits, but before we get into that too, before I forget, because I already missed it, during the commercial break, which that was right after the Annie scenes were over, they did have this information for public disclaimer, and it was, quote, used as a bogus threat by the 145 King Flex to bring peace to Paradis Island for the past 100 years. Due to these vows of renounced war, the rumblings and the military of the Colossal Titans could not be put into motion until now. Following the collapse of Paradis Island, 3 walls, these marches of the Colossal Titans flattened everything in their path. Now that the rumbling is underway, destruction of the world is not far off. End quote. So they kind of get into the whole thing about Aaron's plan, which we know Aaron's plans now. He wants to destroy everything outside of the island. Um, so nonetheless, that is where it is right now with the whole island issue. So then they had the end credits after the whole thing with the Air Knight scenes. Then you see Connie with Falco on a horse, and Falco is now awake but lost his memory of the recent battles. Although he is uncomfortable about Connie in the post-credit scenes, you see the outside of the running walls. And you see the family members flashbacks. You see Connie's flashbacks of something that he wants to see, happen, because he's like, he wants his mom back. It's the only person left as a relative of his that, is still there. Then you see the Titans walking around and whatnot. You see those Titans, those colossal Titans. But then you see Hanji at the end asking for aid, and then you see the Cart Titan and the general basically talking about what they want to do for their plans. But then you see Hanji asking for aid, and they about to attack, and they're like, whoa, 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 don't need to attack. And and then basically just asked for assistance about Levi, who basically wouldn't die. It's pretty interesting, to say the least, that they would actually go to the Cart Titan. Only Hanji would be that crazy to basically be like, yeah, we're going to go to the enemy. Like that. They had to have known, that they knew who they were. So, yeah, quite interesting to say the least that they would allow that. Nonetheless, that's pretty much where the episode ends. And, pretty interesting episode to say the least. It's obviously getting a lot of things going on with this. The whole, what is Annie gonna do? What are they gonna do to the rest of the people? The Zeke followers or whatever. With the Air Knights. And what are the Air Knights gonna do? Because it seems like they're gonna try to do something. We still don't know where Historia is and where she is all in this, because Armin did mention that. As well when she was talking to Mikasa. There's a lot of elements that we don't know. Everything just seems divided. Everyone seems to have their own real ambition of what they want to do. It doesn't seem like there's one person that knows what they want to do, other than Aaron right now. Everyone is just basically divided. The island people are divided. The people from the mainlands that are there are divided on what they're going to do that are there right there. And even Hanji going to the Cart Titan, I thought was quite interesting. Obviously he couldn't go to the Air Knights, I guess, so there's that. But nonetheless, it will be interesting to see what they do next week. Let me know what you guys think about this. Again, I will put the pens for the comments there, because again, this is an English dub channel and we do not want spoilers, as it's the first time you've seen the episode. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about this. I thought this was a pretty good episode overall. Comment, rate if you like to my videos, please subscribe, and that's about it, guys. I'm the SS Ultimate Goku Maverick. Peace!